Attorney Amihan April Alcazar, sa lahat ng bumubuo ng The Education Channel at sa ating mga manunood, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Una sa lahat, nais kong batiin si Attorney April para sa paglulunsad ng kanyang kahangahangang proyektong The Education Channel. Mahalaga ang episode natin ngayong gabi dahil ito ang premier broadcast dito sa ating bansa. Sa pamamagitan ng programang ito, hindi lamang tayo naghahatid ng edukasyon sa mga mag-aaral ng bansa. Tinatalakay din natin ang mahalagang usapin. Ngayong gabi ay tatalakayin natin ang estado ng edukasyon sa bansa na humaharap sa matinding hamon na dulot ng COVID-19. Para sa akin, hindi lamang ang pagpapatuloy ng edukasyon ang dapat nating tutukan sa new o better normal. Mahalaga ring talakayin natin kung paano nating iaangat ang kalidad ng edukasyon sa bansa. Paano ba magiging mas matatag ang sektor ng edukasyon sa harap ng mga krisis na tulad ng kinakaharap natin? Samahan po natin si Attorney April sa pagtalakay at pagsuri ng mga usaping ito. Bilang chairman ng Senate Committee on Basic Education, Arts and Culture, ako po ay inyong katawang sa ating pagsisikap na iangat ang kalidad ng ating edukasyon. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Stay safe.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hope. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hope. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real, I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
Good evening. Today is October 5, 2021, an auspicious day to launch the Education Channel's newest program, the Career Assistance Program. But before I delve into this important show, let me first greet the teachers of the world for the International World Teachers Day celebration on October 5, 2021, as we saw some throwback pictures of our teachers in the university. Then it is really an important milestone for us to celebrate today. This year's theme, as provided by the UNESCO, is teachers at the heart of the education recovery. So this year's celebration has a very significant impact on us as we enhance the teacher's profession in order to aid the global recovery for the education efforts post-COVID-19. So we hope that all of the teachers are enjoying and will continue to enjoy October 5, 2021 as the international celebration of World Teachers Day. Thank you. So as you've seen in our launch video, tonight is the launching of the Career Assistance Program, our newest show here at the Education Channel. So at the Education Channel, we link arms for learning, and the Career Assistance Program is the show that will enrich and enhance your opportunities for your career from education to employment. So, but what better way actually to give your greatest accolades to the teachers, but to become successful in the careers for our young people, the youth, students, and graduates. So in our program, we tackle a specific or particular opportunity that we would like to bring to you through the Education Channel. So we hope that you will join us every Tuesdays from 7 to 8 in the evening as we delve deep into the opportunities that you can take advantage of and be successful in your career. So for tonight, our featured program is going to be the Career Assistance Program Skills to Succeed Academy for the Near High Training Program sponsored by our partners, Edulinks Corporation and Accenture. Through this program, the 36 modules will be delivered to you in order to improve manpower training and development, in order for you to gain confidence, improve your proficiency in oral and written English language communication skills, improve your critical thinking skills in order for you to enhance your presentation skills, and of course, realize your potential for a successful career in your future. So I'd like to invite come one, come all, and join the Career Assistance Program Skills to Succeed Academy Near High Training Program, which we will bring to you through the education channel of broadcast webinars. So here are the eligibility requirements for those who would like to participate. If you are a second, third, or fourth year currently enrolled college student in any academic program or course who graduated from senior high school, you're eligible to participate in our program. Secondly, if you are a third or fourth year student, college student in any academic program or course who did not graduate and did not take senior high school, you're also eligible to join our program. And of course, if you were a graduate of any academic program or course under the old curriculum and did not graduate from senior high school, you are eligible to participate in our program. So each participant is going to be given a certificate of participation for every module that you join. And of course, if you complete all 36 modules, Accenture will be providing to you a certificate of completion. For the month of October, as this will last from 10 to 12 weeks, we have the available schedules for your slots. October 16 for our AM session, which begins at 9 to 12 in the afternoon. And of course, you have your afternoon session from 1 to 4 p.m. October 23 and October 30 are also available as slots, again with the same morning sessions from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, 1 to 4 p.m. for the afternoon, and of course, October 30 as a holiday, we will still be working and providing to you the seminar. So what is the advantage to all our participants? You can access through the education channel, the Google Drive forms that you can submit. And best of all, for those who will be given the possibility to avail of this webinar, it will be provided to you for free by our partners, Edulink Corporation and Accenture. So again, I'd like to invite all our young people, the youth, students, and graduates to please join us at the Skills to Succeed Academy, brought to you by Edulinks Corporation and Accenture. And of course, the education channel will always be here to link arms for learning and give you that advantage so that you can have a successful career now and in the future. So as I said, in the past, I was a student leader, a scholar, a business executive, a banker, a corporate lawyer, university president, and company owner. So what you need to do is to immerse yourself, explore the opportunities, and train your skills so that you can realize your potential and be successful in any career of your choosing. So again, I'd like to invite all of you. This is Attorney Amihan April Alcazar, the host of Career Assistance Program. Every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m., you can like, follow, and subscribe to us in all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And we hope that you'll be able to join us in our newest feature, our show, the Career Assistance Program, where we feature in every episode a particular opportunity that you can avail of. So before I delve deeply into the topic for tonight's episode, let me give you some reminders regarding the Skills to Succeed Academy. So it will be every Saturday for this month of October for 10 to 12 weeks. And each participant will be given a certificate of participation once you complete every module. But the 36 modules, you will be granted a certificate of completion by Accenture, which will definitely help you in your post-education employment opportunities. So again, this is Attorney Amihan April M. Alcazar. I'll be looking forward to again meeting you tomorrow when I have AAA Live, where I interview and discuss the perspective, issues, and concerns of the education sector with the movers and shakers from the education sector. Good evening, everyone, and I hope that you will stay safe. As a feature of our program for tonight, so I will be delivering a lecture as commissioned by Accenture on the out-of-school youth, a new phenomenon under the pandemic, and how we can address this particular social issue as well as employment imbalance that we are currently experiencing during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we hope that you will listen and partake of the Career Assistance Program every time, every Tuesday. This is all that we can offer to you from the Education Channel tonight. Thank you, stay safe, and good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for your invitation, Accenture, for me to discuss with you today about the opportunity to deep dive into the out-of-school youth ecosystem in the Philippines. It is, of course, a very responsive and relevant to the pressing needs that we have right now in the Philippine setting. So I'm looking forward to your feedback and some of your questions later so that we could have a very fruitful discussion. So let me begin first with what is really this out-of-school youth ecosystem by beginning with the definition of the out-of-school youth. So we really have two definitions here. One is provided in the proposed Senate Bill Magna Carta of the out-of-school youth, wherein members of the population who are 15 to 30 years old, who are not in school, not gainfully employed, and have not finished college or a post-secondary course are defined as out-of-school youth. However, in the last World Bank study conducted on the out-of-school youth in the Philippines, they defined the age group between 7 to 24 years old divided into children from 7 to 14 years old and the youth as 15 to 24 years old who are not in school, not enrolled in a vocational or tertiary education, and are not employed. So as we can see, there is a slight difference insofar as the provisions of these definitions are concerned. So for purposes of our discussion, we are going to be adopting that is being proposed by the Senate Bill of the Magna Carta for the out-of-school youth today. Now, what would be the role of education and the educational system in the out-of-school youth ecosystem? So as we know, they are very much defined as being out of school. So how could we still influence them? Of course, one way is for the educator to influence the policy so that they could be brought back, or if they had left the educational system, or to bring in to the educational system this out-of-school youth. Another possibility is for the educator who can implement the policy that is already existing so that they could be subsumed into the educational system. And lastly, of course, because the education and the education system can have its expertise, provide the extension services to the out-of-school youth so that it will be based on the programs that is being provided by the higher educational institution. Now, a specific subset of out-of-school youth that is of current interest to us will be those out-of-school youth who had actually been studying in the higher education institution or in the formal educational system and who have dropped out. So here are some possible strategies to continue engaging this out-of-school youth so that they can continue to engage with the educational system. So for instance, for the higher education institution, we can set goals to reduce the dropout rates within the higher educational system. We can use the data that we are using in conducting the research to identify the dropout rates and target recovery strategies. Of course, we can provide flexible, high-quality school options for recovered dropouts or those students who are returning to the higher educational institution. And finally, we can consider incentives to focus of the dropout recovery if this resource exists, such as remedial classes or intermediation classes. Who are the stakeholders in this out of school youth ecosystem? So they could really be divided into two parts. The first, of course, is we have the government education agencies. And because we have a trifocalized educational system since 1994, they are divided into the Department of Education for basic education, the Commission on Higher Education for higher and professional education, and the Technical Education Skills Development Authority for technical education. Of course, we also have the government welfare agencies, namely the Department of Social Work and Development, the Department of Labor and Employment, and the Department of Trade and Industry. So what is our evaluation insofar as these stakeholders are concerned? If we look at the total activity that is being conducted by these government agencies with respect to the out-of-school youth, we know that there are few beneficiaries from the programs that they're currently implementing. There are less than 500,000 out-of-school youth that are benefited from the programs that are being implemented by these government agencies. They have a limited budget because we are meeting with stakeholders from Australia and India. They are approximately only around $10 million a year. There is the short duration of programs, which really only goes from like 3 days to 3 weeks normally. And because these agencies implement the program separately, there's really not much coordination that is being conducted between agencies. And lastly, even if they did implement the program, there are a few studies that actually indicate the kind of evaluation in terms of the impact and effectivity that has been done for the out-of-school youth with these particular programs. Now, the other side of the out-of-school youth ecosystem will be those in the private sector, as differentiated from the government agencies. So, in the Philippines, there are around 150 private sector agencies and foundations involved in programs that relate to the out-of-school youth. So, how could we actually evaluate them? First is because they are private initiatives. There's often a lack of sustainability because they are mostly volunteer organizations. So we know often these organizations such as Rotary Club, Lions Club, Sonda Club. So they are all volunteers. Lack of capacity for scaling up programs. So even if they had an effective program, how then could you actually scale up from beneficiaries of 30 to 300 to have some meaningful impact into the lives of the out-of-school youth? And lastly, if you put them all together, despite the many benefits that are gathered from these private sector agencies, they really do have a limited budget of only $20 million a year. So it would seem that the efficacy of both government and private stakeholders is minimal due to the lack of clear leadership for advocacy, information sharing, and coordination of this out-of-school youth between the different stakeholders. So how do we then identify, which is a very important aspect of the research that needs to be conducted on the out-of-school youth so that we can draw an effective situationer? First, you look at the national data. So from the Department of Education, we know that in 2021, which was the last school year before this particular school year, it showed that there are 4 millions who could not enroll. And so they only had a total of 2.75 million from the private school. So 2020 data shows decrease in enrollment of 23 million in both public and private schools compared to 27 million in 2019. Now, it is expected that for this coming school year, we might revert back to the original figures from 2019. So we're hoping that is going to happen for this school year, which is supposed to begin next week. Now, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, 9% of 3.52 million of the estimated 39.2 million Filipinos aged 5 to 24 years old were considered as out-of-school youth. And then we have to differentiate them because we have a very young demographic profile in the Philippines. Actually, 83.1 would be from 16 to 24 years old, 11.2 will be between 12 to 15 years old, and finally 5.7% will be from the 6 to 11-year-old bracket. So we know that this is the actual productive working population that could be tapped from the out-of-school youth segment. So we know that 50% of all the out-of-school youth belong to families whose income fall within the bottom 30% of the population based on the per capita income. Now, if we talk about local data, this is even more dispersed because then you will have to go through each of the local government units in the particular area where they are located in order to evaluate what would they share in terms of like the demographic population and profile of the out of school youth within that particular area. So we know that evaluation of that data may not be accurate even if you compare the national data to the local data that is available. Now, what is the kind of interaction that is being conducted among the shareholders? So we know, for instance, that for the Department of Education, they usually will have this referral of students from the Alternative Learning Systems program. So these are the programs that are given to the out-of-school youth that are not able to actually go through the normal process of schooling based on the formal educational system that is offered in basic education according to their chronological age. You also have the TESDA, in that they will have referral of students for higher TESDA certificate programs. So there are currently like 4 national certification levels that are being offered by TESDA. So there's often referral between technical vocational institutions that offer lower to higher TESDA certificate courses. Now, insofar as the Department of Social Work and Development is concerned, normally there are referral of students from the conditional cash transfer program. So these are the cash incentives that are given to the bottom quadrantile of the population, so that one of the condition is that their children continue to attend mandatory schooling in the elementary to the high school level. And finally, of course, you have interventions that are being initiated by the higher education institutions for recovery dropouts or dropouts that I've mentioned earlier. Now, what would be the factors which prevent stakeholders from working in collaboration? So really talking about like the stakeholders from the government or the private sector and the actual beneficiaries. So as I've mentioned, because of the trifocalized nature of the regulatory agencies, there are different mandates of agencies and institutions. Again, I mentioned about the Department of Education for basic education, the CHED for higher education, and the TESDA for technical education. Again, even with the private sector agencies, they would have their different angles or advocacies. So they may definitely be different in terms of like their objectives. There are usually different needs, circumstances, and corresponding interventions that are needed for the out-of-school youth to be implemented by the agencies and institutions. That's why I was talking about the importance of the data as a basis for the design of the intervention programs. From the national level, we have to know what particular out-of-school youth in terms of demographic profiles and their needs and circumstances are actually prevalent in the local government area, so that corresponding interventions may be designed eventually for the programs to be offered. So we know that out-of-school youth is actually a result of behavioral decisions that are at the level of the household and the individual, which cannot be controlled. Of course, you have individual liberties insofar as decision making is concerned. So, for example, these factors may include parents who only have an elementary education, hence they have less economic opportunities for the household. So it would mean that out-of-school youth may be part of the breadwinners of the family in order to contribute to the economic income of the household. Of course, you must consider considerable social and economic pressures, including pressure to contribute to the household income through work. So choosing work over education seems to be the prevalent situation of the out-of-school youth. And of course, because there will be some breadwinners within the family, there's of course assistance or help needed for housekeeping or taking care of siblings, knowing that the average family size for the Filipino family is now 4.5 children. So again, I think if we look at the whole out-of-school youth ecosystem, there is much that could be tapped insofar as the private sector is concerned. And I look forward really to the feedback that you can provide so that we can contribute towards the design of interventions that could be done to address this pressing concern for the out-of-school youth of the Philippines. So thank you very much, and I'll be happy to take on any feedback or questions that you may have. Thank you.